One of my earliest memories growing up in Nigeria was being at my father's funeral. When I was 6 years old, my father passed away. And I remember the vivid sadness in the room as my mother had to take care of my brother and me by herself. Now, at the funeral was my uncle. So I have an uncle that lived in America. And he was there collecting our personal information. So I asked my mother, why is my uncle collecting our personal information? And she said, he's going to play the lottery. So every year, America has the American Dream Lottery, where they get a family in developing countries and they give them a chance at the American dream. So every year, my family enters this lottery system. And every year, we don't win. But after being homeless for 9 months, we won the immigration lottery. And we now could come to America. So we moved to Gary, Indiana. And we're living in a small one-bedroom apartment with my uncle. So my mother studied nursing back in Nigeria. And she knew the only way to take care of us in America was to become a nurse. But before that, she had to pass her nursing exam. Now, you can imagine how hard this is in your second language. But my mother studied pretty hard. So she bought the books, and she studied, and she failed. But Mom's pretty smart. She's very aggressive. She got back on that horse, studied even harder, and she failed again. But this time was different. I would wake up and see her studying in the living room, and I'd go to bed, see her studying in the dining room. We were spending weeks in the library, which I didn't mind because we didn't have cable. I could watch Cartoon Network. But my mom had this relentless attitude, and she had this whatever it takes look in her eye. So on that third attempt, my mother passed her exam. She could now take care of us in America. So my brother and I knew the only way to pay her back was become successful doctors here in America. So my brother starts his pre-med track at University of Southern Indiana, and I wanted to rival him. So I declared my major as biomedical engineering. After one semester at Purdue, I dropped out to join the Army. So now that I've joined the Army, I spent about a year in, and we're getting ready to go to Afghanistan. And a month before our deployment, it gets canceled. So I decided to go back to school. But this time that the Army's paying for my school, I'm a major in computer engineering technology. It's kind of funny because growing up in poverty, I wasn't around much technology. So I thought it was all magic. I literally thought it was a magic guy with his hat on in the back, just making websites happen. It wasn't until high school, I took an HTML class, I learned, okay, people make these websites. So I thought, okay, cool, this is kind of a cool career field. So then after college, I decided to become a software engineer at SAIC, working in Kentucky. So I got really excited. This was about my first day. And my team toured the building, saw my cubicle, and then my boss calls me over and say, let's go do some HR paperwork. I'm like, cool, let's go. College degree, check. CompTIA Security Plus certification. So I remember seeing CompTIA Security Plus on my application somewhere, but I wasn't exactly sure how big of a deal it was. So my boss says, you can't even touch IT here without Security Plus. So he sends me home and puts me on a 2-week paid leave. I said, you know what, I've taken exams in school, I can pass it. What I learned was cybersecurity was a little bit different. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And being a programmer, I didn't think I needed it for my job. So I didn't study very hard. And I failed my first try. But I'm like, come on, man, I'm a smart guy. I'm gonna study. Studied pretty hard, took the exam again, and I failed again. And as I walked out of the testing center, my boss calls me, and he lets me know I'm no longer on paid leave. And here I am stuck in Kentucky with lease, and I'm just relocated here with no job. So like my mom, I was put in a situation where I had to pass an exam to start my job. So I remember what she did. She didn't give up, and also she studied pretty hard. So I made towers of note cards. I studied relentlessly in the library. And on the third attempt, I walked out with an almost perfect score. I could now start my job. So then I get a call from the Army National Guard saying, hey, we're looking for a cyber officer, someone to help our cyber team. And I say, well, I have a Security Plus certification, so I'm okay, I'm pretty technical. So I spent a year in the Army Cyber Warfare School, and I wanted to further my education in cybersecurity. So I found that USD has a master's program here in cybersecurity operations leadership. So I decided to apply for the program. Now, when I was applying, I had to write an essay. And the essay, sorry, those come to Security Plus. So I had to write an essay. I had to write an essay about what trait I thought would make me most successful here at USD. And it was obvious, passion. You see, passion will get you through the self-doubt you will encounter when you start a new venture. And that's the same passion I try to instill in my students here at USD. That's what I'll leave you all with here is this. When I failed the exam my second time, I felt as though I wasn't ready for cybersecurity as a career choice. I felt I wasn't fit for the career choice. And by judging ourselves negatively because of our failures, we risk losing sight of the crucial lessons and insights that they provide. Thank you.